Bright Cutie. Every student matters.
Hello, dear students. Welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to begin with Swami and Friends, written by R.K. Narayan, which is a part of Class 11th Nagaland Board English. Now, R.K. Narayan, first of all, dear students, was a very famous Indian writer whose stories dealt with the day-to-day problems of a common man, and they were based out of the south region of India. Now, as the title suggests, Swami and Friends. So, Swami was a boy whose friends, namely Rajam and Mani. So, these three friends, Swami, Rajam, and Mani, what was the kind of life that they led? What were the kind of games that they played? Their emotions, their everyday happenings have been quoted in here by R.K. Narayan. So we, my dear students, are going to discuss the detailed summary of Swami and Friends, followed by the themes of this novel, the character analysis of the main characters of this story, as well as some of the important questions. So this is how I am going to take up this novel with you, Swami and Friends. So without much ado, let us begin with the story now. So, as I told you, the story revolves around Swami. So, Swami, who was a schoolboy, woke up on a Monday morning and he did not feel like getting out of bed. He was afraid of his teacher, his school, and the headmaster of his school. Now, what was the name of the school in which he studied in? He studied in the mission school. So he was very afraid of his teacher, his school's headmaster, especially because he did not complete his homework that was to be done by him. He sat onto his desk in a corner of his father's dressing room and he began to work because he had not completed his homework. So Swami sat in his classroom now. He's done his work. He came to the school and he was very bored through the first few hours of his school. He could only, tolerate the school, or rather, I can say that the only things that he liked in his school was to watch the little kids of the infant classroom, the little schools, watching those students, watching those kids speak the nursery rhyme and to speak, that is what Swami enjoyed. His teacher, whose name was Ved Naragam, he seemed to be very ugly to him. He did not like his teacher. And he used to pinch his head. Pinching is when you hold the skin of your body. So his teacher would pinch his hand whenever he would find Swami's homework incorrect. Now, Swami enjoyed his next class more because it was a history class, and the man who taught them history, D. Pillai, was a very kind man, and the way he taught them by narrating to them the stories of the battles is what Swami enjoyed. The final class of that day was a scripture class where the art and craft was to be done. It was taught by Mr. Ebenezer. Mr. Ebenezer was a very religious person and he was crazy about religion. Swami and his classmates enjoyed the Bible that Mr. Ebenezer used to carry along. Instead, irrespective of the fact that Mr. Ebenezer actually disrespected and ill treated the non Christian students. Mr. Ebenezer started talking about how he did not like the Hindus and how the Hindu God, in comparison to the Jesus God, the Jesus Christ, was not that equal for him. Swami did not like that when he was commenting on the religion, and he started arguing with his teacher. Mr. Ebenezer twisted Swami's ears as punishment. Swami arrived at school the next day as well, and he was having a letter with him in his pocket. He had told his father about what Mr. Ebenezer had taught to them the previous day, to which his father wrote a letter addressing the headmaster of the school. And Swami was feeling very guilty for having told this to his father. Now, the letter stated, it was written in the letter, that the school should treat all the students of all the religion as equal, and the headmaster was supposed to inform Swami's father by a letter if the Hindu kids were welcomed in the school or not, because if not, then he was ready to shift Swami to some other school. When Swami left the headmaster's room, his classmates gathered around him to find out what had happened. Swami did not tell this to anybody other than his four best friends. His first friend was Somu, who was the class monitor. He was an average student, but he was liked by everyone, including the teachers. The next friend was Mani. He has been described as a very powerful boy who was good for nothing. He did not do anything in the class. He was just strong and powerful. He never did his homework and was always punished. Swami was very proud of Mani. He really liked Mani personally. Then, apart from that, the third friend of Swami was Sankar, who was very smart, he was very intelligent, and Swami really liked him. And the last friend that Swami had was Samuel, who was known as the P, because he was very small. He was tiny, his height was short, so he was known as the P. The P did not have anything outstanding. He did not have a very remarkable quality with respect to anything, but he got along with Swami very well, and they had a great sense of humor together. So Swami told his friends about his father's letter, and all of them gave their nod to Swami that he did the right thing by telling his father about Mr. Ebenezer's behavior. Although Mani, being a powerful and mighty boy, wanted to attack the teacher and take revenge for what he had done. The P, though, was feeling ashamed because he himself was a Christian and he agreed with Ebenezer, but he did not say the same to his friends, otherwise, he knew they would not talk to him. Now, that day when the scripture class began, that is Mr. Ebenezer's class began, Mr. Ebenezer was, he began talking against the Hinduism and the Hindu culture. But then the mission school's headmaster entered the class and scolded Mr. Ebenezer for the way he was teaching, which made Mr. Ebenezer feel very embarrassed and bad. At the end of the day, Swami was called by the headmaster, who had Ebenezer in his office as well. Swami was very uncomfortable seeing his teacher in front of him and wanted to leave, but the headmaster kept him in the office and told Mr. Ebenezer in his presence that he was not going to do anything like that again. Swami's headmaster gave him a letter that he was further supposed to give to his father. Swami ran home and he was happy that the day was